We've got this post from Charlie Kirk, undecided voter on CNN panel. Let's play the video. Here we go.
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Were you leaning towards the former president coming into tonight?
Probably.
And did you vote for him in 2016 or 2020?
I did. I think it's important to
Now, I want to make sure we show this as well. A tweet from Frank Luntz where he says the same panel said by an 8-4 margin that Kamala Harris won tonight's debate. Now, I've got questions about this. I got no problem with criticizing Donald Trump's performance. He got flustered. He got angry. And it's funny because I put that on Twitter and I get people saying, stop riding the fence, Tim. It's either Trump is good or Trump is bad. Shut up. Donald Trump did some things that were good. I think he won with emotion. I don't think that he won the politics of it. So here's my question with this panel and the sentiment. Obviously, conservatives are going to share the CNN undecided voter saying, you know what? I don't know. Kamala hasn't proven that she could do this. What does it mean to win a debate? When I watch this, and I, as someone who's leaning towards Trump, say I think Kamala did well in terms of what decorum should be. I understand why the pundits are saying they think she won. That's their attitude towards it. Does that mean my vote has changed? No. When these people say Kamala won the debate, does it mean that they will now vote for her? Or is it fair to say, I think Kamala won the debate because Trump got too angry and didn't give good answers? That being said, Kamala also didn't explain any of her positions, so I don't know who I'm supposed to vote for. When New York Times runs an article saying our panelists are undecided, they couldn't figure it out. When Reuters runs a panel and says actually 6 out of 10 said Donald Trump, it does not seem fair to say that the end result, the material victory is in winning what a debate should be, but in whether or not you've convinced them to vote for you. Yeah. And saying Kamala won is not the same thing as saying, I will now vote for her.
That woman's
go
I
ahead.
was going to say that woman's voice is very shaky, and it's probably because she's on TV. But she's also probably very nervous to state that position because that's not the cool position, right? The cool position is, I like Kamala, right? And so she's probably petrified to say, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to get beat up for it. But life was better under President Trump. So kudos to her for being brave enough to do it. And I think the average American, I think a lot of Americans, or maybe the majority of Americans, are going to express that same sentiment. Yeah, I probably would rather have Kamala at my bridal party, but life was better under Trump, and I just have to go that way.
I would rather have Trump in my bridal party.
Absolutely. No, that's what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
Oh,
that was her line was, who would you rather have?
Kamala Harris seems like the same kind of girl that would push you into the locker,
Well, Kamala does drink, though, and Trump doesn't. So, I mean, if you want to have a party, I would rather.
She might be a better
No, Trump
She's
doesn't
down
need
for
a
a
drink
vineyard
to have
wedding.
a party. He doesn't need a drink to have a party. He has a good time anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
I
he
get
could be
the
sober
sentiment
and
of
have
like,
fun.
I like this sentiment of like, we are not actually voting for someone that we are going to hang out with. We're voting for someone who's representing the country. I think the myth of he seems like a person I could have a beer with is actually a disservice to voters. There are lots of people who do jobs that I don't want to hang out with, but they're very good at what they do. I'd be happy. Think of like a very intense defense attorney. Mm-hmm. They might be really aggressive. You may not want to invite them over for game night, but if you're in court, you want the person who's going to do the best job. And I think that this fear that the candidate has to be someone everyone's really, Kamala Harris says this all the time. I'm from the middle class. I'm from the middle class because she's trying so desperately to connect with voters.
Yeah, but you saw where she grew up in Montreal, like in Westmount. It's this beautiful,
also
pretty wealthy
you're relatable
neighborhood.
by your personality, right? Donald Trump does resonate with people, even though he, grew up fairly wealthy. He obviously built this career. People still feel like he is someone that they relate to, connect with. I mean, look at all of the times that his poll numbers have surged after he has been elected. People feel an emotional connection to him that the Harris Walz campaign cannot create, and they're never going to be able to.
Yeah, Trump is a known quantity, right? There's no one who doesn't know who he is, doesn't have strong opinions on him. He's not going to move the needle on his own likability, favorability, electability. That's set in stone. I agree with what Tim was saying. The onus is on the vice president to drive up her electability. How much did she do that? She probably did it a little bit, but did she do it enough to overcome for the fact that eggs are $4 a dozen and that meat is $8.95 a pound and that my car insurance has gone up 25%? So that the onus is on her. I do think, if to simplistic terms, is it Trump's to lose? I think she has more responsibility, and that was the advantage she had when it was Biden, because Biden was a known quantity,
Right.
and people rejected him categorically. So one of the things I think President Trump missed was I think he should have hit that a little more, right? The woman who calls me a threat to democracy, who viciously calls me a threat to democracy, is standing here and not one person voted for her. How'd you get here, Kamala? Is there is it a threat to democracy that the Democrat Party threw away the votes of millions of people who voted for Joe Biden? Right, I'm the threat to democracy. I just think he should have almost made it like comical. I just think it's fascinating that I'm standing next to you,
right?
Because no one voted for you, and yet here you are.
Well, the other thing, too, is the moderators really did not do them any favor, do Trump any favors.
No.
They fact-checked Trump falsely on an abortion thing. There are 8 states that have absolutely no limits on abortion. They
didn't fact-check any of Kamala's lies?
They didn't fact-check any of her lies, and she had so many lies. The Project 2025 lie, the bloodbath lie, the Charlottesville lie. She lied about January 6th. She lied about his affiliation with Project 2025. She lied about immigration. She lied about, Trump's plans for the economy. At every step of the way, she lied. They didn't fact check her on that. They didn't say anything about that. And when they did fact check Trump, they were wrong. The bill that Chuck Schumer keeps trying to bring up to make, abortion federally legislated has no limits on abortion. It's in there under at any point in the pregnancy for the life of the mother, including mental health, which could be anything.
You know what I'd have done? When Kamala said, she said officers died on January 6th. Any one of these lies was a perfect opportunity for Donald Trump. When they say, Mr. Trump, a response, I just look at David and I'd say, do you want to fact check that? And then I'd wait. Mm-hmm. And he'd be like, what? And it'd be like, you said you were fact checking in real time, so I don't want to interrupt you as you fact check her because
she's lying.
Yeah. So would you
just
mind?
Lied repeatedly.
Would you mind? And also, and you could do that every time. She says the bloodbath thing. Trump could have just went, "Are you guys are going to fact check that? Mm. You're not fact checking that. Is there a reason why you're not fact checking that? Okay. Do you want me to say? Okay, the bloodbath thing was economics. I was talking about the auto industry. Next question. Trump. If David, how do you pronounce the guy's name? Muir.
Like demure.
Okay.
Very mindful.
Nobody knows.
Very demure.
No,
I'm confident in what I'm saying.
If he wanted to be in the debate, then Trump should have welcomed him back in the debate every step of the way. I think he should have.
I think the greatest bias that David Muir showed last night was that if the roles had been reversed of the assassination attempt, and God hope it never happens to anybody, if it had been the vice president or Joe Biden who almost got killed at an event, the opening line to Mr. Trump would have been, President Trump, 6 weeks ago, your opponent was almost killed. The political violence in this country nearly cost her life. Is there something you would like to say to her right now that she survived this assassination attempt? And do you agree that we have reached a level of political violence that is unattainable? And do you hold some responsibility? That would have been the opening damn question
100%
to Trump.
Right.
And they didn't even acknowledge
They would have blamed him.
He had to bring it up himself.
100%.
He was the one who had to bring up his own assassination attempt.
Didn't acknowledge
Which is
it.
crazy because the Joe Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, I know she wants to have her name attached to it, at least she used to, they talked about gun violence all the time. And then suddenly they're sort of like, well, we're not going to talk about it. Suddenly Kamala Harris is a gun owner. Did you hear that one?
Yeah. What guns do you...
Big twist.
What guns do you own?
Right.
I didn't know you were a gun.
Very non-specific answer.
That would have been my Trumpism also. The vice president, you're a gun owner. Wow, what guns do you own? When did you buy them?
Which one's your favorite?
Which one? Yeah, exactly.
And I could be
How many
wrong.
magazine
I got a
clips? How many magazine clips do you have? Just use fake terms that and catch her because they use fake terms. Or Joe Biden would always say, "This magazine clip has 45 rounds." People are like, "What the hell is he talking
Magazine
about?"
clip.
Right? So
We just got so used to him not
Fully
making sense.
semi-automatic.
full semi. AR style 15. What you mean? It was long, right? AR-15 style gun.
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean?
It's a semi-automatic rifle. Are you saying it's a 5.56? I don't know what you're trying to say with that.
I think voters knew Trump might get, agitated. He might make some bold claims. It's not surprising to them that he did that. Kamala Harris sort of did nothing. She did not define herself well enough. And that's why so much of the media coverage afterward is actually like, well, she got Trump to do this. Oh, well, she said this thing to Trump, and here's how Trump reacted. They're acting like she won, but she didn't define herself. She did not set herself apart. We don't really know what her policies are other than some fun labels, the opportunity economy, whatever. Yeah. And I think long term that will hurt her no matter what the polls say. Like I pointed out before, Hillary Clinton supposedly won all the debates and surged in the polls and somehow lost the election. So
thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.